The longest spaghetti in the world. One time in the small town of Noodleville, there was a peculiar tradition. Every year, the townsfolk held a pasta festival. The highlight of the festival was the spaghetti competition, where chefs from all around the world came to showcase their noodle-making skills. This year, however, something extraordinary was about to happen. In a tiny, cluttered kitchen at the edge of town, lived a quirky chef named Luigi Macaronini. Luigi wasn't an ordinary chef. His mustache curled like a pretzel, and he wore a chef's hat so tall, birds sometimes thought it was a tree. He had one big dream, to make the longest spaghetti noodle in the world. The plan for a pasta-tastic record. Luigi spent weeks researching spaghetti physics, testing dough elasticity, and arguing with his pet parrot, Alfredo, who insisted that pizza was better than pasta. Pizza's flat. Spaghetti's where it's at, Luigi would shout, rolling out dough with such passion that flour clouds filled the room. Finally, on the eve of the festival, Luigi was ready. He had crafted a machine he called the Spaghetti Stretch-O-Matic 3000. It was a contraption of whirring gears, spinning wheels, and a giant crank that could stretch dough into a single, never-ending noodle. Tomorrow, Alfredo, we make history, Luigi declared. Or a mess, squawked Alfredo. Spaghetti chaos begins the next day. The festival square buzzed with excitement. Chefs presented their spaghetti dishes, rainbow spaghetti, glow-in-the-dark spaghetti, even spaghetti shaped like animals. But when Luigi rolled his Stretch-O-Matic 3000 onto the stage, the crowd fell silent. I will create the longest spaghetti in the world, Luigi announced, turning the crank dramatically. Out came the noodle, smooth and golden, stretching and stretching. The crowd gasped as the noodle slithered off the stage, down the street, and into the town square. Luigi kept cranking, sweat pouring down his face. Luigi, it's getting out of control, shouted Mayor Rigatoni. Nonsense, Luigi yelled back. This is art. The spaghetti takes over. The noodle kept growing. It wrapped around lampposts, looped through shop windows, and coiled around the town fountain. Children cheered and ran alongside it, trying to catch pieces to eat. But then, disaster struck. The spaghetti snaked into Farmer Fusilli's pen, where his goats thought it was a buffet. They began munching furiously. Stop those goats, cried Luigi, running after them with a giant fork. Things went from bad to worse when the noodle reached the town's roller coaster. A group of kids on the ride grabbed onto the spaghetti as it looped through the air, and suddenly they were swinging like spaghetti Tarzans. The final straw came when the noodle entered the town's spaghetti eating contest. Competitors thought it was part of the event and began slurping furiously. No! That's my record noodle, Luigi wailed. A delicious solution. Just as the noodle seemed unstoppable, Alfredo squawked an idea. Luigi, turn it into a feast. Luigi's eyes lit up. Of course. Everyone, grab a fork. The townspeople sprang into action. With forks, spoons, and even chopsticks, they began twirling and eating the spaghetti. Farmers brought out sauce, cheese, and meatballs the size of beach balls. It turned into the biggest pasta feast Noodleville had ever seen. Even the goats pitched in, though they were politely escorted away when they started eating the tablecloths. A new record by the end of the day. The noodle was gone, but Luigi wasn't sad. He had made the longest spaghetti in the world and brought the entire town together for an unforgettable feast. The judges awarded him a special trophy shaped like a giant fork. As the sun set, Luigi stood on stage, holding his trophy high. Alfredo perched on his shoulder, nibbling a leftover meatball. Next year, Luigi said with a grin, I'm going for the world's tallest lasagna. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Luigi knew one thing for certain, his dreams were as endless as his spaghetti. The end.